Welcome to T&D, where we're actually in a different setting than we usually are because no one's in the house and it's raining. So,
And I'm waiting on packages.
yeah, we might as well do it indoors for once. It's probably not going to be as good because we're like in an awkward angle.
Well, not an
A bit
awkward
more
angle, I
upfront.
don't think. I think it's more like up close and personal, to be honest. But I don't even know if we're in focus. Hold on. I think we are.
Hey, this awesome mug, I believe is
We've
your
both got my
brother's?
brother's mugs today.
Yeah, we're stealing Laura's brother's mugs. Ironically, has all this D&D stuff, doesn't play with us anymore.
Yeah.
At
He
least
plays
not
with
for the
his-
moment.
He plays with his uni friends.
Yeah, left us for his uni friends. How
Yeah.
rational of him, I hate it. But yeah, we're stealing his mugs. They're awesome. I really like the Dungeons and Doggies one.
Yes.
That one's sick as
I
hell.
think one of his uni friends got him this, actually.
Probably the best mug I've ever seen.
Mm.
Looks like it's definitely an anime. It's got
Yeah.
like Japanese text.
This wouldn't be in focus, but maybe I can zoom in on it.
Magical, absolutely magical. But yeah, what?
I guess you could say it's magical tea. But there's no party going on, so...
The channel has been cancelled. We are no longer doing it. This is the end. No, let's talk about stuff. So you haven't played D&D
No.
since last we spoke. for
No,
the
because
podcast.
Ryan decided he wanted to go on holiday.
You know, funny thing.
Did
Got
he
home at like 6:30 on Sunday.
No! Oh!
I know, right? He didn't join our one shot either. How rude of him. He was like, "Oh, I'll let them do their thing," but
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, you can't fault him, though.
no, I guess not. He was probably very tired from being in Brighton and stuff. I want to go there again. It's awesome.
And car journeys, you can never count on traffic.
Honestly, he's probably used to them. But yeah, you haven't played.
No.
However, I ran a one shot in the place where we normally would have played, which was 17th level, and it was mostly just combat. That was it. The general essence of it was that each of the players were kind of setting up an NPC that could be in my world later on, and just making their own very powerful fighter person or something that they PvP'd with. And now each of them has their own cool trials that they can do, which is what we spent the entire second half talking about. We didn't roleplay, we just talked about, hey, what would be cool to put in your level or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happened there. And then on Thursday, I also played my newest character, who I haven't made a new character in ages. He's a tiefling bard that is extremely reserved and quiet.
This is
And,
the same one you told me about.
Yeah,
Oh.
probably at least.
Well, you've talked about him on the podcast before
Mm-hmm.
because I remember it.
He's an animal guy, which the party learned because one, I can cast speak with animals as a bard because I chose that for some reason, and we got given 2 horses and a cart to go and do something. So like, I was making sure we moved and just chatting to the horses.
Yeah.
That's something that I found with generally more introverted people. They like their animals.
Well, I am.
At least you.
Yeah.
He's heavily inspired from how you act, kind of, in a way, which might sound weird, but
Yeah.
think of it more flatteringly.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just don't talk as much around a lot of people.
She talks a lot around me because I'm awesome. And you talk decently enough to a camera when you have
Yeah.
like a thing you want to focus on. Like
Yeah.
you've suddenly gone on 5-minute rants unprovoked. I love them.
Yeah. When I have something to talk about, I'll go on a rant about it. But
Exactly.
if I don't really have much input, I'll just not say anything because what's the point?
Fair. But yeah, played a bunch of D&D, and it was cool. I'm playing later tonight. We left on a cliffhanger where Ryan's character went to go chop some old lady's head off. So that's where we are. I want to see how that goes. But in other news, finally sat you down to watch Avatar.
Yes.
We've watched the first episode and probably a bit of the second. I don't know, they meshed together quite well. Maybe we've watched the second as well.
I really don't know at this point. We've watched so much TV today.
But yeah, what do you think of it so far?
Yeah, I didn't understand why he was in an ice block.
Well, that gets revealed.
With the big flying bison, I think he called it.
Yeah.
Also, why have penguins got 4 arms? Because that's just weird. As soon as he said penguin and it showed it with 4 arms, I was like, huh?
They also had whiskers.
Yeah, that's what I thought was weird. I was like, are they trying to mesh a penguin with a seal?
That's exactly what they were doing.
Oh, well, there you are then. But I thought that was a bit weird. And I don't really like that soccer dude yet.
No one does at the start.
Okay, good.
He is a sexist child.
Yeah, because I really don't think he's a good person at the moment. I hope there's character growth with him.
He gets a lot better, don't worry.
Good.
Like at the start, no, he's a good character, but he's literally made to be kinda unlikable at the start.
Yeah, but other than that, it's not bad.
Not bad, guys. You heard her.
Whether
My
I'd
favourite show
continue
ever.
watching it on my own,
Not on your own, but I'm subjecting it to you while you're with me.
yeah,
That's what's happening. You're gonna
I
have to get used to it.
wouldn't necessarily watch it on my own. I think.
Oh, it's like a kids show. So
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd go back and watch some shows I've seen before.
I purely love it so much because I watched it when I was a kid. But
Yeah.
like,
That'd be like me showing you Adventure Time, probably.
I'd like Adventure Time. I've seen a couple
Yeah.
episodes. My favourite character is Dog because his name
Jake.
is Jake. That's pretty much the most I know.
He's
And
quite funny as
funny
well.
voice, very funny voice, good voice
Yeah.
actor.
And-
speaking
and,
of voices, a new Sonic film's coming out, and Travis Willingham normally voices Knuckles, but Idris Elba is going to voice him instead. How different is that?
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, because Idris put it on his freaking Twitter or something of like Knuckles' fist or whatever. It's gonna feel so cursed not
Yeah.
hearing Travis's voice come out of Knuckles' mouth.
Yeah, that's good.
And instead, Idris Elba?
Yeah.
He's like the villain guy.
Yeah.
I think I've only seen him be villains and stuff.
No. He was good in Thor.
Oh yeah, he was freaking... What was his name?
I can't remember his name.
Dude with big sword.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was good in that.
He was a good guy in that.
I'm not seeing the Thor movies very often though.
Yeah. Well, we actually watched it and he was in it. 'Cause
Yeah, I know.
We've been rewatching all of Marvel in chronological order in terms of their release. We're just going in order. I think the last one we watched was Avengers.
I think we started watching it. Yes, it was. We started watching it in order of when they're supposed to come out, and then you saw that Captain Marvel was there, and you were like, "Let's just watch them in the order that they came out on release." And I was like, "Okay, sure."
I've heard Captain Marvel is not good.
It's take it or leave it. There's plot points that you kind of need to know about because it goes into it after WandaVision. You can tell that there's characters that will go in there, whatever. But yeah, there's plot points that you need to know. But is the film itself the best Marvel film ever?
Yes.
No.
Captain Marvel is scientifically the best. Totally not Black Panther or anything.
That one is very good.
I've heard it's like the most critically acclaimed one.
Yes, I did really like Black Panther. I think the only white
Black
guy.
Panda.
Oh, Panther. Sorry.
Oh, I'm imagining it now. Best film.
Anyway, I think the only white guy in it is Martin Freeman, and he's in there for like less than 10 minutes.
Martin Freeman's great.
Yeah.
We were my dad told me yesterday that like the studios that do Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and stuff have moved to England.
Yeah, the ones that are doing it for Amazon.
And he was like, hey, could get you to be a hobbit or something. And I'm like, nah.
Too tall to be a hobbit.
Well, that's not it at all. Like, all of the actors that have played hobbits, I believe, are on the shorter side. But, like, it's mainly done with cinematography. Because, like, Ian McKellen's a tall dude, but not that bloody tall.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
So it's stuff like lowered platforms and raised platforms and camera techniques. I think if I were to be Annie, like, have you seen The Hobbit?
Yes.
I'd probably be, like,
I've
a
also
dwarf.
listened to the book.
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm on about more of the, like, the look of all of the dwarves.
I've seen The Hobbit.
Yeah. And I
know
feel
what
like
they
I'd
look
I
like.
feel like I'd do best as a dwarf, maybe.
Mm,
Because I don't exactly have an
let
elf
me look at your face. Look at me. Don't stare like that. Jeez.
Dwarf or human?
I can't. I'd say human more than dwarf. I would either go human or elf. I don't. You think you're too
Elf?
yeah, I think you're too
I
angular.
could not live up to Orlando Bloom.
No, you're too angular to be a dwarf.
Some of the dwarves are angular.
Well,
I could hide my angularity with a big beard.
yeah, but I just don't see you being a dwarf.
I gotta wait a few years before we actually know that for certain.
Yeah.
If I'm not even done growing up, I will be I could maybe be an elf if I'm that angular.
I think elf or human, to be honest.
Yeah.
I can't see you being a dwarf. I think if anyone was to be a dwarf, my dad would be a dwarf.
Mm-hmm.
He just looks like he could be a dwarf.
Yeah.
If he could grow a beard, which he can't.
You could be well, not all the dwarves in the thing have beards.
Well, they prize themselves on their beards.
Not all of them. To my memory, I think there are some without beards.
Yeah, but dwarves prize themselves on their beards. Trust me, I listened to the book.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Female dwarves can grow beards as well. It's cool.
Yeah.
I think there's some like reference of it in Lord of the Rings or something where like they joke about how dwarven kids just pop out of the dirt or something
I don't know, I haven't got to that bit
with
yet.
just full beards.
I haven't got to that bit yet.
That would be kind of funny.
Yeah,
I think you'd suit a hobbit.
of course.
Not only because you're
just-
incredibly short, but like, yeah.
I just suit the hobbit lifestyle. I don't have big feet. That's like the one thing that's let me down. I've got friggin'
Well,
tiny
believe
feet.
it or not, they put fake ones on.
Whoa! You mean Martin Freeman didn't have huge feet that were hairy like
Martin
that?
Freeman didn't have size 15s that were like
Wow.
as like
Never
a
would've
5'5"
believed that.
man or something. Yeah, no, that's what they do.
The audio forms in this are massive compared to when we usually film.
Turn the volume down for this one,
Yeah,
guys.
I think I will. I think I could, because I can control it while I'm editing. So if it's too loud, I'll.
Absolute genius, beautiful. So let's talk about some actual podcast stuff. How about that?
Okay,
How
sure.
about pick a random food item, just right now.
The first thing that came to my head was lasagna.
Okay, so now
Yes, I say it weird.
try and make lasagna a D&D weapon that would totally mechanically work. Like a fighter could take out lasagna and beat up some punks with it. What sort of weapon would it be?
What sort of weapon
You could
would
perhaps
it be?
mold it to be solid. You could have like the pasta sheets be just really hard. You know, get creative.
Oh, you know, have you seen that guy that's on like TikTok that puts things in resin,
No,
like food and stuff, like McDonald's?
maybe no.
I feel like they would make lasagna like in the shape of, they'd put like resin in the shape of a sword, or actually no, in like
Lasagna, I think, would
a
work
battering ram or something. I don't know.
a lasagna battering ram.
Yeah, so they'd put like
Ooh.
the stuff on the bottom, then they'd put the pasta sheets and all the layers of lasagna, and then they'd put pasta sheets on top, and then they'd put the stuff back on the top, and then they'd leave that, and then they'd sand it down so that you could only see the lasagna, and then they'd go, it'd probably break, but
So
it'd be cool.
it could be like a one-time use battering ram lasagna, and hey, after it hits, it'll like burst open, and you'll get all the mints and stuff. Mm-hmm. Nice snack after sieging.
I mean, I don't think it would be very edible.
be a lovely snack.
But-
It's lasagna. It's going to be edible.
After it's been inside whatever the thing's called that I've conveniently forgotten.
It's not cold. Then maybe they heat it up before they take it into battle.
What is the thing? Resin. We would not be edible if it had been in resin.
I don't see why it wouldn't be. Like, it's just a casing, right? Like, the inside wouldn't really be changed much. Like a cryostasis sort of thing, right?
I mean, lasagna's not whole.
But we're putting lasagna in here, so, like...
No,
this was an awful question to ask.
Because the resin would seep through the layers of the pasta.
Oh. Well, that makes sense. Well,
So-
you just got to pack it with layers and layers and layers.
I mean, you could force feed it to your enemies and then they'd die.
Take this lovely lasagna
Yeah.
in like this dining scene or something,
And then there's
poison
just
it.
resin all over
There's
it.
like actual resin, and they've basically just eaten 3D20s worth of resin.
Yeah.
I do want to perhaps, like, of all of the creative and crafty things, I would like to maybe make my own dice.
That would be cool.
I wanna do one with like tiny shells. Put little tiny shells in or something. That could be awesome.
You have to not be silly, and you have to wear a respirator when using resin.
Yeah, I know that it gives off minor noxious fumes
It's
and
fumes that can mess with your lungs.
stuff. Yeah, I would have assumed.
Wear a mask when using resin and a proper respirator mask.
Wear a mask all the time
Yes.
when you're out in places, even though
Yes.
probably the restrictions have gone for most people.
They
by now.
have. Probably.
They have for us, right? I'm still
Yeah,
wearing it.
Yeah, me too.
I have to take buses in a bit, in like a
Yeah.
month. I'm not taking my chances. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, new question.
Okie dokie.
What are your favourite spells?
Oh,
What spells have you vibed with?
Dimension Door. I love that one. Love it, love it, love it. It's got me out of several situations. Am I doing 3? Shall I make it 3 just to make things easier?
As many as you like. What are your favourites?
Well, so Dimension Door is obviously my favourite.
Mhm.
Then I also very much like Invisibility.
Mhm.
And then I also like that one that Draugr had that put people in like a dagger thing. And then if they got...
Mental Prison.
Is that
That
the one?
6th level spell that, like, they
The-
take a bunch of psychic damage.
Yes.
And then they need to make a saving throw.
Yes.
If they...
Because James pulled his
Oh,
character's
no,
friend...
quite the opposite. In this Drow one-shot, James's character had, like, a romantic interest that was in the same building that, like, was about to go down in. So it was, like, his goal to save him. But he went down very quick because you existed.
Yes.
She was the woman inside. You were the spy. And basically knocked James's character down and said love interest. He was like, no, and dragged him
Yeah.
or something. I think he was like, he wasn't able to move in like the mental prison thing or whatever.
Yes.
Like he was still up.
No,
but
I think he might have got down.
I just remember you rolling the damage.
Yeah,
So probably was still alive or awake even.
probably.
And then basically
because even Orion was trying to tempt James to walk out.
Ryan just really wanted to see 10d10
Yeah.
psychic damage. I don't blame him.
Yeah, it was pretty cool though.
Yeah,
I like that one.
it's a lot of neat spells.
What else do I like? Well,
Um,
I also like Eldritch Blast, of course.
Well, you're a warlock gal, so
Yeah.
what are some cool looking spells that you haven't been able to try out yet? So like mislead,
Oh yes, that one.
because I think you have that right now as well.
Yes, I did take that one. I swapped it for something else
Yeah,
that I wasn't using.
Mislead's
Yeah, that
very
one
fun.
seems cool
you can.
because then I can pull the tricks that the evil lady used on us on her.
Yes, that's very cool. Mislead basically is only, I believe, a somatic component, which basically just means a blah, 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 blah. And then you turn invisible just at the same time as like an illusory duplicate of you appears right where you were standing that you can control and stuff. So it looks like to everyone else you're still there and vibing and walking around and stuff, but in reality you're 5 miles away and invisible. It's very cool, and you
Yeah.
might get to use it at some point and
That would be cool.
get absolutely juke that big lady and just hope she doesn't have true seeing on.
Yeah.
because she does have that spell.
Oh, god damn it.
But it's 6th level, so she might not think it's a worthwhile investment if, like, there's a final battle coming in, and it's like... Because she's a Archmage, so but she's only got, like, 1 6th, 1 7th, 1 8th, 1 9th. I don't think she's ever flexed the 9th.
Oh, gosh, the little power word killers all.
I think you're not at 100 hit points yet, are you?
No.
You have counterspell though, right?
Yes.
So you're like in the final fight. You're probably gonna have to be doing the most.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I have my Staff of Power.
Wait, Rob has it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his specific Paladin subclass gives him it. Hey, he can help you. So now you can use your spells on more important stuff.
Yes.
Because you have a lot of big ones.
Yeah, I do. With the Staff of Power now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a badass.
If James was there, he would have probably got the Staff of Power. You would have probably got a Robe of the Archmagi, which doesn't give you any more spells, but it would increase your spell save DC by 2 more than it already is.
Oh, you should have
On
given me
top
that.
of your staff bonus. And it would have also given you an armor class of 15 plus dex.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
And you have a shield right now as well, right?
Yes, because
even though you're not proficient.
Yes, because I'm carrying it on my back.
For reference, if you're carrying it on your back, then it's fine. But I was just gonna say, if you were holding it, you'd have disadvantage on strength and dex checks, which means initiative.
Yeah, no, I've got it on my back
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to protect. I remember why. I said I'm going to wear it as a backpack because it was a shiny shield.
Yeah, it was an extremely mirror-like shield. The main enemies in the place that they're in right now, if you show them a reflection of themselves on your turn, they immediately have to use their reaction to leg it as far away as they can from you.
Yeah, because that's why I was wearing it on my back. I didn't want anything to sneak up behind me.
Imagine if one of them snuck by you and then you just heard, "Ah!" And there's just one of the like zombie things with rigor mortis just running away.
Yeah.
So you can't really be snuck up on anymore.
Yeah.
Even more so than usual when you're, invisible a lot of the time. Having invisibility is very clutch for that adventure.
Yes.
You get to do so much shenanigans.
Yeah.
Invisibility is just such a good spell. My bard's taking it the moment he can.
I do like that one. So what are your favourite spells?
I haven't been able to cast too many as a player because I don't play as much. I do more recently, but like I've only just started. But some of my favourites that I've ever done would be, you probably don't know too much about it, Magic Circle as my cleric. I did a video on it.
Yeah, you did do a video on it.
Where basically you can either trap like a bad thing in a circle or you can keep the bad thing from the circle. We are in hell right now, so it's been pretty useful to say the least.
Yeah.
So basically, we'd heard like at the top of this massive hill and seen like hundreds of feet away from us some like hell knight on a massive fiery horse or something, and we had about a minute to prep. And when Ash said that, I was just like, so then put down a magic circle and it couldn't touch any of us, and we absolutely slaughtered it, and it was like CR 14 or something.
Nice.
We were level like 7. Oh boy. But ones that I've also casted as a DM, because I have done a lot of big ones, because I like my big spells when I'm a DM. Obviously, Power Word Kill.
Yep.
You guys have experienced the back end of that a number of times.
Who was it that died?
Ash.
Ah. Which
But then
character was
came
that?
back. Sir Albert.
Ah, yes.
Because he came back as a Revenant, didn't he?
Yes.
Because he was absolutely mad.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have given it that charisma check to anyone but Sir Albert.
Yeah.
And then got a crit. For reference, our monster slaying paladin had died to some dude and is extremely spiteful and vengeful. So I gave him one opportunity for a charisma check to see if he could get back up, and he got what he needed. So he did as a revenant, and then that was fun.
Yeah.
Next time I do it, I'm going to restrict some of their abilities, because Sir Albert got a lot more powerful, because he always knew where the bad guy was.
Yeah.
Exactly how far, and in what exact direction. Which was cool, but luckily didn't abuse it, because, didn't want to go chasing after him or anything.
Yeah.
Shame you weren't there for that final fight.
Yes, I was too tired for that. When did it finish? Like 11,
11:30.
was like,
I remember getting
"Jeez
home
Louise."
borderline midnight and apologising to my mum like 7 times, who waited up for me.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. I remember
she's sweet
just.
like that.
I just remember just being like, absolutely not.
I just come into the living room at like
I'm
11:30 or
asleep
something.
on the sofa in here.
I think you weren't asleep. You were just so close.
Yeah.
And then I walk in and ruin it.
I was like, I'm so close
Honestly-
to sleeping. How dare you?
Honestly, if you were actually there, because basically before the fight happened, I gave people like a buttload of money because the city gave them a buttload of money and 2 levels or something. With that, you could have probably got a weapon that could have done very well against Drykles because your sword wouldn't have worked on him.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah,
Black
I
Razor
gathered.
heals undead by 1d10 when you hit it, which I'm so sad you never did this, but you could have automatically fully healed Sir Albert whenever you wanted by
Yeah.
just absolutely stabbing him very many times.
I thought we said that didn't heal Sir Albert though.
He wasn't undead. I don't think we ever said that. The main thing we were on about, because he was an undead, stuff like Cure Wounds didn't work on him, and
yeah.
Ryan's character had it. So I said, Cure Wounds wouldn't normally work, but I'll also let you spend a key point to make it work,
Yeah.
because he was a monk. So that's what we were on about. But yeah, if you could have totally just stabbed him to full health. I really
What
want to
an
give you
odd
guys.
thing to have watched.
I want to give you something similar to Black Razor again.
Yeah.
Like maybe not like another big greatsword that's sentient and wants to kill
Yeah.
things, but I think you really liked having a sentient and extremely powerful weapon.
It was cool.
So I might do something like that for you very later on.
Yeah. That was cool though.
But yeah, spells cool. That's what we were on about. Nah, we went on big tangent, and that's perfectly fine. I have spoilers for Thursday game Band of the Silver Line. Ryan's magic item that I have scheduled for him is sentient. It's
Ooh.
called the Laughing Bag. I sent it to you.
Did you?
Yeah, it's the bag of holding that like does a bunch of funny things.
I don't remember.
I sent you I send you all the like magic items I make for them, but in essence, it's like a fey bag that can grow a mouth when it wants to, and it laughs at you, and it does funny fart noises and spits out money whenever it
Do
wants.
I remember this?
I don't know.
When
And
did
it lets you
send
cast
it?
some funny spells like a month and a half ago or something.
Oh no, I won't remember it then.
Yeah, and it barely talks to you unless it wants to berate you or sometimes help you, but it's very rare. So it's hard to tell if it's messing with you or actually trying to help. But yeah, Ryan loves random stuff like that. Like he'd, I think his favourite magic item I've ever given him was an uncommon one called the Bag of Tricks, which is a small bag with a bunch of like puffy balls in it, and you take out one of the balls and you throw them, and you roll a d8, and depending on that, a random animal will come out. So like, yeah, that was what Ozfa would have got when he went to go and get it back, because that was his starting little thing to get him to go to Chilton and stuff, go get that bag back. In one of the fights in like Icewind Dale or something, when he had it, he like threw one out and a boar just started knocking over people. It's Pokeballs, it's great. And stuff like that is very funny. I have one similar to that right now. I think it's called Staff of the Adder for my cleric, where you can throw it and it just becomes a giant constrictor snake or something. That's funny. If I really wanted, in like the final fight, I could summon an earth elemental and a giant constrictor snake at the same time and just watch them go. And also, there's also a spell I could do to summon a celestial if I wanted. But that's like the worst summoning spell ever. It's a 5th level spell, and you summon something that has 40 hit points.
Ooh.
So at 9th level, you're going to have way more hit points than this literal sexy angel that you've just summoned.
Yeah.
Which is very, very sad and annoying. Okay. So that's all I wrote. This is the end of the podcast.
Wait, but you-
No, I'm messing.
Did we have any questions?
We did have one that was submitted. I did check before this.
Okay.
But it's a question that I think is... it's Curse of Strahd. What input do you have on Curse of Strahd?
Nothing.
So I don't want to just be talking at Laura for 10 minutes. So I'd rather talk at you guys because
you can talk at me for 20 minutes or however long you need to talk about it.
I'd just like you to reply occasionally, and I don't know if you'd ever be able to reply if I was talking about.
Probably not. I mean, I've
Curse
never
of
played
Strahd.
Curse of Strahd, so
No, you've never you like moderated a game of it, but your attention was on making sure the stream was up and stuff.
yeah, that's what I would say by moderated a game on it. Is keeping the stream alive, which I did a poor job at.
It worked a bit better, I think, mainly because we didn't have anyone's cameras on and stuff. That one probably worked the best, so...
Yeah, I think just my computer just does not like streaming.
Yeah. We might be able to do it again at some point in real life as well.
Yeah.
I think there's ways that we could do it even with just one camera.
What are you
Like,
on about?
Just mount this bad boy upwards enough, you know what I mean? Just like
I
over.
suppose.
Yeah, I've seen D&D shows work on just like one camera before.
Yeah, but we just don't have the room.
We don't have anywhere to do it, is the main thing.
Yeah.
So we've done all the things that I've written down because I expected us to go on a bunch of tangents, and we did, but we stopped. But we stopped
Yeah.
because I'm very rude like that. So what we're gonna do is I have a game that I might be running. I don't know if I am yet, but it will probably be a backup thing. And I have the general idea for an adventure. But do you want to perhaps help me get some of the more details and stuff?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
But whoever's playing this game, you better tell them to leave.
Tuesday gang, heck off.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for leaving. You may now leave the podcast.
If they're still here, what are you doing? You just ruined the nest for yourself.
If you're still here... You hurt my feelings.
Anyways. On to making the actual thing.
So I have a general idea. It's an old soldier that has been doing basically nothing since the war ended 2 years ago. And he's just been framed for a massive crime. And the objective is, because they're a detective agency, to try and prove his innocence with
who are the
evidence
players?
and stuff. Rob, James, Ash.
No. I meant, are they the detective?
Yeah, they're a small
right,
detective
got it.
basically. That's
I
the
didn't
whole
want to know who was playing the actual game. I just wanted to know which bit they were playing.
No, they're all playing the one guy who's
The one detective.
the one. They're all just playing the one guy who's stuck in prison, wrongfully accused.
Oh, they're all playing... What?
And basically, they're all playing the same guy, and the entire campaign is just them sat in a prison cell waiting to be freed. And they're just playing the That's not actually bad. They could play an adventure in someone's internal dialogue.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, but then it would be it was all a dream ending. So
Yeah.
I'm not about to do that anytime soon.
I mean... I guess you could be like...
It was
evil
just a
wizard
dream.
trapped us in this random prisoner's head because we committed a crime too. Then they have to fight what this guy thinks about.
Oh
so
my
maybe
God.
he's like... so maybe he's processing his murder or whatever the crime is. And these guys have to relive it, but it's quite literally real. So say he has to murder these people, they have to murder people or something. I don't know, just a suggestion.
That's very cool, and I will do that one day. However,
That is not what you wanted for this.
No, not at all. The general idea of what I wanted to kind of figure out was who's doing what and why are they using someone else to cover it up.
So the guy that they've got is not
So
the person that did... What is the crime?
I don't know that either. That's what we're going to figure out.
Oh.
So it's in Shan, so it's Eberron, so consider that.
This isn't going to affect the Eberron game I'm in later, is it?
Probably not directly, but they're happening in the same world. It's just
Okay.
very far away from each
Anyway,
other.
carry on.
So yeah, basically, some dude wrongfully imprisoned. The guy who is hiring them has a hunch of that and wants them to find out, and they go and do that. So I think the first thing is, so what's happened, right? What is he being framed for?
Potentially you could go say that there's been like mass murder,
Mass murder.
but like kidnapping as well. So
Maybe just people going missing.
Yeah, maybe.
That could make the situation pretty dire as well, because I kind of want it to be lower stakes. So I'm thinking maybe not murder, but let's think. What would a old war veteran want to do? For one, they're probably not being financially supported anymore. They're probably not getting money.
Yeah.
And maybe they're like missing. They could have committed. They could be accused of committing a murder, because what I'm thinking of right now is Watson from Sherlock Holmes that we watched, being an army vet and like wanting to go back into the field and stuff. So maybe that's what they're kind of framing him for.
You could make it tragic as well. Maybe he had a friend that he was very close to. Loose basis on friend. It could be anybody, like family member,
Just some dude he
love
liked
interest,
in the war.
whatever. That could have been in the war that died.
Mm-hmm.
That would give him motive to commit a crime to a person that would have killed said person.
Maybe he's been like very aggressively, or being accused of very aggressively mugging people. But in fact, it's a changeling. That's a race that's in the game,
Yes.
where you can change what you look like. Someone looking exactly like him, going around and doing it for the money.
Yeah.
So
I watched a show where somebody did that.
you did?
Oh, it wasn't a show, it was a movie. It was that spy movie that's got Will Smith and Tom Holland in it. Spies in Disguise.
It's animated, isn't it, right?
Yes. Yeah, because the dude with the robot arm takes the face of Will Smith as his character, and then
I was about to say, he just looks like Will Smith.
yeah, and
Just
then
framing Will Smith for...
and then Tom Holland makes Will Smith's character into a pigeon.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's kind of awesome.
yeah.
But yeah, so we have a general basis of what he might be accused for now. And there's a bunch of evidence pointing towards it being him, if there's like this changeling going around looking like him. So I know this guy and what his career is. He's been trying to make ends meet by doing some legal mercenary work. So like, that basically means you can just hire him to do whatever. So he's likely just been, I don't know, moving crates. But yeah, I'm thinking something like that. He seems like he's down on his luck, and therefore just choose this guy and frame him. Because he might do anything for money, because he's a mercenary. Like, people probably would stereotype that. So the next thing is, who's this changeling and what's their deal?
You could make him someone kind of important.
Yeah.
Maybe it's someone kind of important that just wants to mess around with people because they find it funny.
Maybe it's just some morbid person.
Yeah, then it's not as high stakes if they're just messing with people.
I was thinking we start pretty Professor Layton-y in terms of its charm. Like, it's less like huge. So for example, in the most recent Professor Layton game, the like first case is someone stole a hand from Big Ben. So yeah, that's minor enough, but a bit more real, because if no one in that party's going to care if a hand got stolen from a big clock.
Yeah.
But I think that it could be some very stereotypical like dude in a cape that wears a mask or something. That like jumps from the shadows and is just like, aha, it was me all along, now get 'em boys, bye.
Yeah.
And so we could do that, that's cool. Just a very maniacal, doing it for the lols. But what I think is they were perhaps doing it because they were mind controlled by something. Not mind flayers. I'm not doing mind flayers again.
I was going to say,
I'm
you're
not
bringing
doing
mind flayers in again.
But there's an interesting force in Eberron that I've wanted to use called the Kuwari, which sounds really weird. And it's basically creatures that come to people in their dreams and change them. So maybe this dude had like dreams that came to him. Maybe he worships a trickster god or something. And these dreams, they were made to look like, I don't know, omens or something. Like you need to do all this stuff to get into paradise or whatever. So he's like, hell yeah. And that's what he's doing. That could be cool.
That could work.
Yeah, and he could be some recurring dude who's just kind of a nuisance. He could be the bone claw of that adventure.
Oh, God.
But yeah, no, I like that. We've made a little starting quest. Now, what we probably need to know from here is where does that go? So we know what's happening and what this person's doing, but what's like, how did they know that? How did they learn?
The guy tries to mug them.
They walk round the corner with that dude's disguise or something and is like, give me your money. And then all of these people come around from like various corners and stuff and they're like, hold on, aren't you arrested? And he's like, bye.
Yeah.
So they could be like looking for evidence and stuff and like people's recent sightings of this guy or whatever.
Maybe they could find some that don't quite match up with why the other guy's in prison.
Yeah.
So, like, they could have sightings of the guy after he was put into the prison.
I think that might be cool, because maybe he's been doing it for a while, and, like, he doesn't... This person doesn't know that the person they've been impersonating has been arrested.
Mm-hmm.
So
they
the
just like,
next victim is
money.
Accidentally the party.
Yeah.
And, okay, that's funny as hell. They'd obviously have to look around for them a bit, but I don't think it would be too hard if that's what we're going for.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, it might be looking for traces of, like, people that have seen them and where perhaps they were going afterwards, and perhaps they find, like, these mini hideouts that have all sorts of clues as to where the real hideout is.
Mm-hmm.
And then they finally go to the hideout and have that big final battle where he runs away. I want to give him a freaking, like, I don't know. I want the image of, like, the Green Goblin hoverboard. I think that would be awesome if they had that. The freaking one with, like, missiles at the front. I don't know why that came to my head. I thought flying saucer first, like a mini flying saucer. But then I was like, but that doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So they have the Green Goblin hoverboard. Okay.
Oh,
This is my favourite quest I've ever made.
You'll be coming into my kind of territory here, which is take the absolute and make things that are funny and not like.
I need him to go, I'll get you again, Spider-Man. Before
Just give him that voice. Yeah.
My name is the Red Goblin. Maybe his true form is a Red Goblin. Because changelings could do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
This sounds like a joke, but everyone would love it.
Yeah.
James in particular, that is exactly his vibe.
Yeah, very much so.
Oh
very
my
much so.
God. Oh, I want to do that now.
Well.
Oh, thank you for giving me enough for
You're
me
welcome.
to finally see truly what my villain should be. And that does a decent job of setting up some villain that could happen. Like the quarry people.
Mm.
Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're awful. Like, I had a character that had one of those spirits in their head, but it was nice and helpful and was telling her what to do. And she just did it blindly. Which, if it was evil, I never knew if it was, but James could have made it evil, and I would have immediately gone along with it.
Ah.
That's literally what I said. If it ever goes corrupt on me, like, it's the only way that would turn this character evil.
Yeah.
If Daddy Dream were to... That's all we have for today's episode of the podcast. Thank you for watching. That was cool. I now have advice. That I can use for my adventure. If you want to see more of this, make sure you like and subscribe and stuff. This is a podcast that will be going forever and will never stop. No pressure.
Ah!
We might do breaks. But it's very fun, and you should subscribe and watch all of the other podcast episodes.
And join the Discord.
Yes, also join the Discord, which you can find in the description below, where you can submit all of the questions that, you know, you totally got to see, that were totally from the audience. And you can also comment them as well if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thank you for watching. See ya.
Bye bye.